Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to unlock an ancient secret that makes complex math, well, astonishingly simple.
All right, let's start with something I'm sure a lot of us can relate to, that dreaded math problem. So you see a calculation like this one. What's your first instinct? If you're like most people, you're probably reaching for your phone, right? Thinking, yep, that's a job for the calculator. And hey, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. For so many people, math feels like this huge, difficult hurdle. It causes anxiety instead of excitement, but it really doesn't have to be that way.
But what if I told you there's a different way? A system that's actually designed to make math feel intuitive, maybe even, dare I say it, enjoyable.
The system is called Vedic Mathematics, and what it does is it reframes problems in a way that our brains can just click and solve them with incredible speed. And this isn't some newfangled thing, it's an approach that's been around for centuries.
Basically, Vedic math takes what can feel like a tangled mess of numbers and smooths it all out into these simple, kind of elegant steps. So let's actually see how it works. I'm going to show you a few examples that honestly feel more like magic tricks than math. Okay, first up, multiplication. We're going to tackle a couple of problems that look pretty tough on the surface, but you'll see they're surprisingly easy once you know the technique.
Yup, you heard me right. We're not even going to use numbers at first. We're going to use simple lines to find the answer. This is where it gets super visual and, honestly, pretty amazing.
So here's how it works. For the number 22, we draw 2 lines, and then another 2 lines. For 13, we draw 1 line crossing them, and then 3 more. And now for the magic part, you just count where the lines cross. You group them up and count. The left group is the first digit, the middle is the second, the right is the third. And just like that, the answer, 286, just appears. It's crazy simple.
Okay, that line method is awesome, right? But Vedic math is way more than just cool pictures. So let's move on to our next trick and see how we can solve that big, intimidating problem from the beginning. This time, we're going to use a little bit of clever logic.
So the secret here is all about looking at how close our numbers are to a nice round number, a base, like 100. So for 97, how far is that from 100? It's 3 less, so we'll call that a deviation of -3. And 94, that's 6 less, so -6. Now watch this. The process is so simple, it's kind of mind-blowing. The answer comes in 2 parts. For the first part, the left side, you just cross-subtract. So take 97 and subtract the other number's deviation, which is 6. 97 minus 6 is 91. Easy. For the second part, the right side, you just multiply those 2 deviations together. So -3 times -6, that gives us a positive 18. And that's it. You just stick those 2 parts together, 9118. The answer is 9118. No calculator needed. Seriously, once you get the hang of this, you can do it in just a few seconds.
All right, let's look at another trick. This one is incredibly fast for a very specific type of problem, but it's a problem that actually comes up more often than you'd think. Okay, so how do you find the square of any number that ends in a 5? With this trick, it becomes like a 3-second process. Seriously, forget long multiplication. This is a total game changer.
The simplicity here is just, it's brilliant. Check it out. You take the first digit, in this case, a 6. You multiply by the very next number up, which is 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. Then you just stick 25 on the end. That's it. The answer is 4225. And this works every single time for any number ending in 5.
Okay, so at this point you might be thinking, is this just a bunch of clever party tricks, or is there some real math behind all this magic? And the answer is, oh yeah, you bet there is. Let's circle back to that first example, the one with the lines. 22 times 13. Let's peek behind the curtain and see what's really going on.
So, what you were actually doing with those lines, it's just algebra in disguise. Think about it. 22 is just 20 plus 2, and 13 is just 10 plus 3. The line method is simply a super clever visual way of multiplying all those parts together.
And this is how it all maps out. Those intersections on the left, that's your hundreds place. The ones in the middle, that's the tens place. And the ones all the way on the right, that's your ones or units place. So you get your 2, your 8, and your 6. 286. See, it's not magic at all. It's just math made visual. So here's the really important thing to take away from all this. This isn't just about doing math faster. It's about completely changing your relationship with numbers. When you have tools like these, Vedic mathematics basically empowers you to see math not as some chore you have to get through, but as a superpower you can actually use. It turns it into a game, and it really boosts your confidence so you can tackle problems without that second of hesitation. And that kind of leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? If a simple change in perspective can make something as complex and, let's face it, as feared as math suddenly feel simple, well, what other big challenges in our lives could we solve just by looking at them in a completely new way?